Hello, folks. I am back with another firearms review, and you can tell by the box you know what it is. It is an HK, or Heckler and Koch. This is a firearm that I've been looking for quite some time, and I just never been able to pick this one up. Uh, I was at another range. I was checking out different ranges, and I saw it, and I said, "Yeah, I gotta grab it," because the salesman told me he had problems selling this particular firearm. People just pretty much walk by. So here it is. This is the HK45. Uh, you've all seen this. This is not a new firearm that's on the market. It's been around for quite some time and have some history. I'm going to show clear so everybody knows everything is safe. Empty magazine, and nothing in the magwell, nothing in the chamber here. It is a little dirty in the chamber because I fired it today. Inside here, you're going to see some extra things that they give you. There's extra O-rings, a tool, an extra back strap, and of course there's your manual, which is very informative. Let me get all this out the way so we can get started instead of dealing with a lot of things here. All right, this is the HK45. Give you some specs on it. Of course, you know it's a 45 because it's in the title of the model. The overall length is going to be 8.03 inches. The overall height is going to be 5.91 inches. And the barrel length is going to be 4.46 inches. And the sight radius is going to be 6.63 inches, and it is a little weighty at 31.2 ounces. And that doesn't pretty much bother me because I have some 1911s that are creeping up to 40 ounces. This is what you call the Variant 1 version of this firearm. The Variant 1 is a double action, single action decocker, and it's also a cock and lock, has a cocked and lock feature. Just to give you an example of that, you rack your slide, you could bring down your decocking lever, and it's already decocked. It's at what they call a quarter cock. It's what I really like because the hammer's not fully enclosed or decocked. It's off the firing pin mechanism, so it makes it pretty safe. The other thing I like about this is because I am a 1911 fan, I can use this in a cocked and lock fashion. So all I have to do is when I get ready to fire this firearm, all I have to do is bring down the safety and then pull the trigger. I had mentioned about the Variant 1 and Variant 2, etc. Here in the manual, it shows you what the variants are. There are roughly about 10 different variants. I'm not going to go through them all, but this is the one that I have, which is, like I said, double action, single action, and then it has the control lever for your slide, etc., and so forth. So if you want to keep track of your variants, you can look this up in your H&K manual. It does, the barrel is polygonal rifling. And what you see here is, you notice that I mentioned about the O-ring right here. The H&K give you spare O-rings so you can replace those as they wear down. And it aids with lockup and so forth when you're shooting, when that slide comes forward, when the slide comes forward, it locks in. And a lot of people say it aids in the accuracy. A lot of firearms are going that way today. One that comes to mind is the FN509. Like I mentioned about the polygonal rifling or polygonal rifling, a lot of people are familiar with that when it comes to Glocks, and it's best not to use lead rounds in there because of the lead buildup. I don't use that, but that's what they normally advise you not to do. It's kind of crowned in here, so if you drop it, you won't be able to damage the barrel itself. It looks like to me it's semi-crowned. It's not like the crown that I see on other firearms. It's a Cold Hammer Forge barrel, and it is a linkless barrel. And I will show you that in a minute. And just bear with me a moment. I want to put the camera on pause because most people, when they do these breakdowns, they usually would show you the breakdown. But I'm having a little problem with my hand today, so I'm just going to pause the camera. Okay, I got that started and going because, like I said, I have problems with my hand today. I had a previous injury, but it's basically that simple. If you're familiar with 1911s or even some of the CZs, all you do is you pull this pin out here, and which has your slide stop lever. You pull that out. It's actually right in the back where the hole where it connects. Let me see if I can do that. Where it connects right here, and you just all you have to do is line it up and then just push out the end here, and basically you just pull that out, and there's no issue. If you look here, your internals look pretty good, and like I said, it is dirty because it just came from the range. Notice the rails here. And let me go over to what's unique about this is the slide. This does have a buffer system in here. Let me see if I can get this apart. Yeah, I was able to do that. All right, here's your spring. It's all metal spring with a buffer system, and it's linkless, meaning that there, like on your Browning designs, there's usually a link on top. Like if you would see something like I'm going to say Glock or any other firearm, where it would be some of the links are over, like a loop or whatnot. This is what they call the linkless design. This aids in recoil, and let me see if I can get this barrel out. And like I said, this is a Cold Hammer forged barrel, and it appears to be very durable. And I'll let you see down here. Yeah, it definitely needs to be cleaned. But I took it straight out the box and just started firing with it. I didn't get a chance to clean it beforehand, but I think I was just excited to do that. So I didn't want to go all the way home and then go back to the range. But here's what that is. And let me see if I can get this back together. So you have to link these up together. And again, I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, it's all back together. Again, I'm going to apologize for that. I'm really having a bad day with this hand. But however, this is the way it is. After you connect it back together, you just do it in the reverse order. That's basically all it is. And I just check for function, and it's working properly. One of the other things about this is shooting this is a really good pleasure to shoot. One of the things I did while I was shooting, because I shot the first round in double action, and I forgot about this being a decocker. So I ride this like a 1911. So with my hand on top of my thumb on top of what would be a safety on a 1911, I did it on a decocker. So what happened was my thumb came down while I was shooting. Good thing I was taking shots every a few moments, and I pulled the decocker down, and it went down enough, and it was in double action mode. Now, there's nothing drastic happened. It was just that I was in double action mode because I pulled the decocker down. So what I did was change the way my support hand was. My thumb over here and closer to the frame, which that's the way you're supposed to do. So you have your palm of your hand or the meat of your hand here closer to the frame. And then you're able to unlock it off safe and then fire. And that's what happened there. That was only just something stupid I did. The only other part about this firearm was like I said, it's very iconic. I believe that Larry Vickers and Ken Hackathorn had some input with this firearm through the Joint Combat Pistol Program in 2005. And that pistol program was suspended. So who knows what would have happened. I don't know the other firearms that were involved. So I'm going to show you some shooting targets real quick. Okay, here's my first target that I shot with this. And the problem, I was trying to figure out its point of aim. At this particular range, like I said, this is a range I'd never been to before. They have a rule over there. Their shots, your first shots have to be roughly about at 10 yards. And there's a yellow line, so you have to put your target out at 10 yards. So, at other ranges, they're a little more flexible. You can bring it back to maybe 5 or 3 yards at the closest and so forth. But I guess he explained to me that they had some problems with people shooting the floor. So that's why he started a rule for 10 yards. And these were my first shots at 10 yards. And I was doing pretty good. Each one of these pages are 25 shots. I was trying to feel my way with the sight alignment because I couldn't tell whether or not it needed a 6 o'clock hold or whether it was point of aim. So it was a little bit confusing me, and I was trying to get on target, but I couldn't tell if I was hitting the black or not. So this was pretty good for the first 25 shots. Of course, you see a shot off here and shot off here. The second target, this is again roughly at 10 yards, 25 shots. Kind of similar results, but a little bit more centered. A little bit more centered. So, of course, you see that shot that went off here. And my other shots were pretty much in the black, except for the two up here that went awry. Now I'm sending the target a little further back. I believe I'm anywhere between something like 12 yards and 15 yards. So I'm trying to line up my sights again. I'm trying to keep that there. So I'm doing pretty well here. Now on the last target is exactly 15 yards. So the last target is exactly 15 yards. And this is what I'm want to explain about whether I needed a 6 o'clock hold or not. So there were some issues where I was trying to determine whether I needed a 6 o'clock hold, and my first shots were very high, as you can see, at 15. So I don't know what I was doing. Usually, if for some reason, when you send targets further out, sometimes you might tend to shoot high. I probably did that. So basically, these were high. My sight picture was basically, I figured I was treating it as a combat sight, so I kind of like blacked out this area. So that's why I think I got the high shots. Then I tried having my sight line across the sights over here. And then I tried a 6 o'clock hold over here. But I did my 6 o'clock hold right here, and then I wind up getting, I think, 1 or 2 shots down over here. So all in all, regardless of how I thought badly I shot, I think that the gun is a lot better than I am, and I think it did very well. For being an iconic firearm that it is, I really like this. This firearm is going to replace my P227 as my home defense firearm. I didn't get rid of that P227, but this is going to be my home defense firearm. I do have a light for it. The other thing I can speak on with this is you're going to see quite a few comparisons. I just mentioned the P227 just now. Also, for you CZ fans, I'm going to put in the 97B. All of them are 45 ACP, and all of them do have a 10 round capacity. So I'll be testing those out, and then I'll get that out to you. But I'm going to do a little more work on this so I can get my sight picture as well. I don't. These are the luminescent sights. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I prefer a different type of sight than this. Who knows? I'll see how this works. But that's all I have for now. So happy shooting. Stay safe. #2A.